Hi, my name's Matt Locke, and this is the Everyday Athletes vlog, the vlog for the everyday athletes around the world who refuse to be average and who want to create a legacy of health, fitness and achievement in every aspect of their lives. I'm glad you're here, and once again, it's time to forge your future. All right, Dave Harvey, good morning and welcome to the Everyday Athlete podcast.
Morning, Matt. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Appreciate your time very much. I know you're busy running a number of businesses, which we'll get into, but I appreciate your time very much.
More than welcome. Love to help out.
Excellent, appreciate it. And for those who are not familiar with Dave Harvey, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, just I guess your background from your footy days onwards.
So I guess grew up playing rugby. Was lucky enough to play professional rugby for a number of years, probably about 8 to 10 years, 8 to 10 seasons, spanning across probably 4 countries, being Australia, or maybe 5, Australia and a few in Europe and then in Brazil as well. And then, landed in F45 and ever since then been running that business. Sort of coincided a little bit of pro rugby / business running and then stepped away from rugby and now I'm, I guess, a full-time dad, full-time business owner and, still want to be athlete.
Well, the still want to be athlete, having seen you in action the other day and at the Bay Games last year, you're going okay.
Still working on it.
You look amazing. You're looking super lean and strong at the moment.
It's all in the kitchen. All in the kitchen.
That's interesting. We might come back to that subject.
Yeah.
But so that's obviously a major transition. I mean, living 8 to 10 years, you said, as a pro footy player, a pro athlete. I'm guessing that was living, breathing, eating, sleeping footy every day of every week, every month, every year.
Yeah, no, it pretty was. It's stemming from starting in Australia, I did things a little bit backwards. I kind of did Australia, then did a little bit of Australia, then did Europe, and then came back here and played pro back at home, which is fantastic. But it was just 7 days a week, I guess, or 5 days a week with a couple of days off, and morning sessions, time off. I get a fair bit of time off, but sometimes whether it's a mental release or you keep back and do nothing, and then back in the afternoon for a bit of training, a bit of video analysis, and studying your game, opposition games, and then games on the weekend, and the next day would be a recovery, and it was full-time job at the time. I loved it, made lots of mates, lots of lifelong friends. Learned a lot about myself in good and bad ways, but it was intense, but wouldn't change it for the world.
Excellent. It was interesting. We were chatting to Felicity, now Lemke, but originally Felicity Galvez, an Olympic swimmer, gold medalist, in fact. Who for sure she's coming on to this podcast as well. But she was talking about when she was leading into both of the Olympics, 04 and 08, that she competed at. She said literally her day was, I think at least 5 days a week was 3 training sessions a day.
Yeah.
And in between those, it was eat and sleep, literally.
Yeah.
Sleep, go back and train again.
Pretty much eat, sleep, watch TV. You'd watch TV shows, watch movies. There'd be Xboxes, PlayStations, coffee. Wander down the shops, and that's it. And some clubs could let you do what you want. Other clubs were really adamant on doing nothing and relaxing and resting and recovering. Probably more knowledge and content around that kind of stuff now compared to when I was playing.
Right.
Bit of I wouldn't say an old school approach, but a bit more like, you can do as much as you want kind of thing. Whereas now there's a huge emphasis on recovering and resting, getting your body right. But we did a bit of that. It was, training and then nothing and then training again. So it's switch on and switch off.
Sounds, it would, to the everyday athletes like me and most of the audience listening, that sounds like the dream life. However, I'm guessing it was also not so easy.
No, I think a lot of people perceive it as the dream life. But as much fun as it was, it's also very mentally challenging, physically challenging. Yeah, but you can get physically challenging by training as much as or as hard as you want with a full-time job. But more the mental aspect of it was a little bit tough, especially like for me living away from home. That was pretty hard. But even playing back here, like you're studying opposition, you're studying yourself. You got to remember plays. You got to remember what the opposition's doing. You got to try and one bad game puts you on the outer. You never really have a full-time job. You're a full-time player, but you never really have a full-time job in the rugby aspect because you're signing 1, 2, 3 year deals, and after that you don't know where you're going to be. Whereas if you're a school teacher, you're a policeman, whatever it may be, you own your own business. You've got a job for life as long as you tick boxes. You don't exactly have to perform perfectly day in, day out.
Yeah, absolutely. I imagine it's an immense amount of pressure knowing that.
Yeah.
I can assume. So you transitioned then to, as you said, you bought an F45 franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you said when we were there last week doing the photo shoot, you were the 6th ever F45.
Yeah, no, we're actually the third F45 owner.
Third,
so,
there you go.
Yeah, so I was still playing at the time, and I just left my contract playing Super Rugby, and I wanted something to do. I've got a teaching degree, which I used a little bit, but there's no jobs out there in the world of teaching at the moment. And I wanted to pursue a path, and my rugby agent at the time, who ended up owning a few, put me on to F45 and bought one in 2013. I think we opened sort of early 2014. Continue to play a bit. I was on the 7th circuit with Brazil at the time, so there was a fair bit of traveling and playing and training and working at the same time, so trying to juggle everything. But yeah, so we've had Castle for about, this will be our 6th year now, which is pretty cool.
And enjoying it?
Loving it, yeah, still loving it. So the alarm goes off at 4:10. Wouldn't say I bounce out of bed, but I get out of bed, and once I'm at work, I really enjoy it. So yeah, really enjoy being there.
Well, you just mentioned before we went live, you were saying that your daughter was only just, I think, in the last night or so, sort of slept through. So I'm guessing over the last couple of years, that's been a challenge.
It has been a challenge, yeah. There's some good nights and rough nights. I think there's times where I've slept out in the other room if I'm feeling fatigued, but there's nights, there's 3 or 4 wake-ups a night, but everyone has their own challenges, and maybe we wouldn't change it for the world. And like I said, as soon as I'm at work, it's almost like game-based. You switch it on and run the class, have a bit of fun with clients, help them as much as we can. Then if I need to hit a wall or come home, then I kind of do that away from the public domain.
Yeah, of course. I've often seen gym owners, PTs, the emotional drain that clients can be without intending to be necessarily. But it's not just being on your feet thinking about the workouts and the programming. It's often a little bit like hairdressers, where people are sharing all sorts of.
I think so. Yeah, I think a lot of clients kind of look to you for advice or even just a chat, which is fantastic. So, which I enjoy, which is really cool. But at times, it can be draining. We're pretty lucky at Customer. We've got a lot of clients who are. We have no handfuls, which is fantastic. We've got a good client base, and they're all phenomenal. So it's actually a little bit of fun. Like, it's fun going to work. You will help them and push them as much as you can, but it's like chatting to your mates. 3 classes, brilliant. 7 classes a day or so, 4 in the morning, 3 at night. It's really good. Yeah,
fantastic. No, it's great to hear that level of passion is still there for you.
Yeah,
it sounds like it's the motivation itself. Interacting with clients and so on. Cool. Was that a hard transition to go from full, 5 days a week as a pro athlete to then setting up a business and all of the infrastructure that goes around it and everything that's involved with the day-to-day running of a business? How did that go?
Yeah, that was probably the hardest thing. It's probably the scariest thing is learning. I guess you said the words just then in the infrastructure of the business. Making the transition from playing to working wasn't really an issue for me. F45 kind of gives me that team camaraderie and that sort of team environment, which is fantastic. But on the flip side, it's just learning a whole new model, a whole new business. Mentioned before, got my teaching degree as a backup and did a little bit of teaching, but nothing in terms of like running your own business. And I guess I probably just learned on my feet, learn as I went. The first couple of years was pretty tough. I think first probably 6 to 12 months, I worked 3 jobs. So I was playing footy, teaching, and running the business. So trying to keep everything afloat. And then business started to get a little bit better, but it was just learning from mistakes and, positives and negatives and probably not taking anything to heart, learning in the fitness industry that people come and go all the time. Fads change, people move, there's waves of, different ideas and different theories behind training. And, just learning how to, from accounting to marketing, as we discussed earlier, and in terms of like Instagramming and everything, just people relations. And the way I see it, if you can speak to someone, then you can run a business. If you've got no people skills, you're in a lot of trouble.
That's exactly right. Because every business needs customers.
100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
And did it give you I'm interested, did it give you a different insight into, I guess, what our term everyday athletes are doing? The mums, dads, people go to work 9 to 5 or longer, 5 days a week, and who are then training and trying to eat well as a hobby at the end of the day. It's, the training and the competing is very much a hobby. Did you have a better insight having gone from being pro to trying to find your own time to get your training in and maintain your own fitness and so on?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a new appreciation for it. Being a full-time footy player, even on days off, it's like, oh, it's 10 a.m. I'm going to go train now. Or, I can get up early and go train, or we had scheduled weight times. We have scheduled field sessions and have massages and recovery. And so kind of day was my leisure and I could do it along. Now with the business, it's, I kind of look at my clients and pretty much in awe of quite a lot of them. Like, I open the studio at 4:45 or 5:30. 4:30, 4:45 in the morning. They come in, they train, they get changed, they go straight to work, they go home. So they're working, not only they're working an 8 till 4 job or 9 to 5 job, but they're training at 5 a.m. They're getting changed and then going to the city. Or they come in on their way back from work and they come in and do their session. And it's just a newfound respect, I guess, understanding now, but a bit more respect at the start to go, oh, crap, these guys, they're living a normal life. They've got to work, they've got to look after their family, they've got to cook, they've got to eat well, they're on the run, and they've got to train as well. Where there's probably quite a few people that are going, well, it's not hard, it's only 45 minutes of your day or an hour of your day. But I think mentally and physically, it's it's pretty tough. And making that transition now to, family, as you mentioned there, they got a 2.5-year-old and, family life into dad life, into business life, into, training life now. It's there's a few hiccups on the way, and it's huge appreciation for what everyone does.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when you're coaching your clients, when you're guiding them, mentoring them along their journey, what's the general advice based on that insight that you tend to give them around maybe recovery, maybe not being too hard on themselves, nutrition, or maybe knowing when to push and so on?
I think for me, I guess a lot of the world, especially in the fitness industry, is everything's complicated. Everyone tries to overcomplicate things. There's 50,000 diets out there. There's 10,000 ways to do a deadlift. There's you should be getting this amount of sleep. You should be drinking this. You should be drinking that. I really try and encourage them just to keep it as simple as possible. When it comes to nutrition, just try and get your timings of food right. Obviously, I don't really tell them how much to eat or what to count. It's great for some, not good for others. So I just tell them, try and keep it really simple. Eat clean, whole produce food. My family and I, we eat organic and whatnot. We go to farmers markets and we love it. And that's our lifestyle. So I try and preach a little bit of that. Otherwise, try and get as clean as possible. And then just with training as well, just try and be as consistent as possible with the training. If they're going to do 3 a week or 4 a week, do 3 or 4 a week every single week. If they're training more, do that. If you want to go for a recovery, get out on Sunday, get a little bit of vitamin D, go for a walk, and just get moving. And the consistency with food and training and just keeping it as simple as possible. I think if people overcomplicate things, I tell them, I said, if they overcomplicate things, they get a little bit stressed and they start to question why, and they research and look for answers rather than, researching, not looking for an answer. You tend to kind of, broaden your mind and learn and educate yourself. So, just tell them, just keep it as simple as possible in probably in every aspect, especially the food aspect, which is probably the hardest thing for them.
Yeah, sure. I think we all know that if you go onto Google, you can find any opinion you want.
100%. Yeah, any opinion. And most of the time people go onto Google and they go in with a predetermined or a mindset, or they're looking for an answer. So when they hop on Google, they'll have a look and they'll find what they want to see. But I know one of actually I've got my own coach at the moment. His best bit of advice to me was if you're going to research something, research without looking for an answer, and you'll sit on both sides of the fence, and you can make an informed decision for yourself. So that's ever since then, it's probably opened up a few things for me, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember watching Forks Over Knives, a documentary that's now on Netflix, and certainly the one of the lead doctors on there was talking about whenever you're reading anything anywhere, the first question you have to ask yourself is, who wrote it, and how are they funded? Who paid for the creation of this document?
Exactly. Who wrote the article? Who paid for it? Because they want to get their point across.
That's exactly right. So particularly on Google, where you can be splattered with millions of results instantly, I think that's a really important thing. I certainly try to pay attention when I'm really researching something.
Yeah.
Understand what was behind it. Is there an agenda?
Definitely.
And it might be okay if there is, but it's just good to know that. So
definitely. Decision. Yeah, spot on.
For sure. Very good. Well, we're getting close to time now. I'm interested with the F45 model, the way you run it. What do you think is the main motivation that keeps people coming back? When I certainly, having been to your facility and met some of your clients and seen that amazing sense of community and that sort of loyalty to the brand, to you, to each other, what do you think builds that?
I think you just nailed it on there. This community, results is fantastic. Seeing people lose weight, put on muscle mass, results, numbers speak for themselves. But for me, the first and foremost thing within business and the fitness industry, community. You build community, you'll maintain your clientele. You look after your clientele, you'll care about your clientele. Your clients will probably care about you as well as a business owner, so they show a little bit more respect. And then after, everything's secondary. So you move into your results and food and how they approach every aspect of their life and every aspect around their training. But community is the key. So whether it be putting on events for them or learning everyone's name that walks through that door at 4:45 in the morning, half asleep. I think that's a really important thing. Just getting the little tiny details possible. Always told my members that learn everyone's name. If there's 3 people in the class, run it as if there's 303 people in the class. So keep it the same. Shows as much energy and as much attention to detail as possible. But not only that, but build community, build fun, and build a place where people want to come and they're safe to come and comfortable to come.
Yeah, awesome. No, I appreciate that, and that was certainly the impression I got when I came with you in the game. So yeah, that was amazing. All right, Dave, thank you very much for your time. I know we're going to get you on for another episode, but for now, I'll just say thank you very much. If people want to reach out to you and connect with you, where's the best place to do that?
Probably on Instagram, I say. That's Dave Harvey 17. It's probably the best to reach out just that way, as opposed to emails, and try and keep my emails for business only, and try and keep everything separate. So if they want to reach out or anything like that, would be good.
Excellent, Dave. Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Well, there you have it. Thank you very much for watching, and if you've enjoyed this, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the little bell icon so you get notified every time we upload a new episode. And if you think that one of your training buddies would also enjoy this, go ahead and share it with them right now. Thank you once again, and we'll see you next time.